Hello, this is Sky Monkey. Today I'm going to be doing a video review of Immersion RC's new FPV flight sim LiftOff. It's currently in alpha stage, so it's still very much in production. So today I'm going to be reviewing the features it has to offer and what they're going to be bringing to the table, rather than any bugs that it may currently feature, as they are going to be sorting them out. So on the menu here you've got a few different options. The community is something that they're going to very much be focusing on with the multiplayer feature, which is going to be added fairly soon. In terms of options, it's all fairly basic. Under game, you're able to turn on and off your OSD and turn on and off whether you hear the motor noise from your quad. Graphic settings very straightforward as with the audio. The control setup is a really nice arrangement. So on the bottom here you can see direct feed from the sticks from your transmitter. You can see they're all feeding through. I'm currently using this with a Tyrannus. You can see just at the top there they've actually got a set of presets. So it comes with a preset for the Tyrannus as well as an Xbox controller and a PS4 controller. One thing that you can't currently use is the transmitter to change things like flight mode, but hopefully they'll add that in later on. You can use other transmitters, you just need to use the manual calibration for it. Okay, so up here you've got tutorial, free flight and workbench. The workbench is where you'll be able to set up and customize your quadcopter. At the moment you've only got a range of vortex frames to choose from, but I've spoken to the developers and they said that there's going to be a massive increase in range of frames and components that you'll be able to choose from. So here you're able to look over your quad, zoom in and check it out. Each place that there's a white circle is an item that you can inspect or change. So here we've got the FPV camera. At the moment there's one option, but again this is something that they're going to be adding to. You're able to change things such as the camera angle on this. I fly with 20 degrees at the moment. And there are several other white dots that you're able to interact with. In addition to the camera, there's a few other components that you can currently change on the quadcopter. This includes the motor, of which there are a few options to choose from. Also props, the battery, video transmitting antenna, and the receiver. They will be adding other things that you'll be able to change at a later date, again like I said, including the frame itself. One other thing that you're going to eventually be able to change is things like the LEDs, and you'll be able to customize the look of your quadcopter. So when you're racing in multiplayer mode online, it will affect how other people view your quadcopter in the game. So if I come back out of this editor now I'm happy with my quadcopter, and I can move on into tutorial mode. If there's any gamers out there, you'll notice that this is quite reminiscent of Mirror's Edge, the free-running game. Very simplistic in design and colour. If you've already raced a real quadcopter or just flown a real quadcopter, you probably don't need to use this level, but it's really good for anyone that's using this as a starting from scratch training simulator, because it gives them a nice little walkthrough on how to control their quadcopter to get through certain obstacles. So now I will pop back out of the tutorial mode and we can head into the first main map. So in free flight mode, this is the area where I think most people are going to be using this game, allowing them to fly around, do what they want and practice things that they don't yet have the confidence to do in real life. At the moment there are 3 maps. Strawbell, which is a standard field, quite open, good for practicing flips and stuff with. Pine Valley, a fairly dense forest, great for learning to avoid obstacles. And then a car park, which is incredibly difficult, and making just a single turn in that is quite a challenge. There are 2 more maps which are hopefully being released this Friday. It's December 2015, and there will be several more to come, including a map creator mode. So when you start out, you've got this nice little animation of putting on your goggles, and now we're ready to go. So you can see on screen here we've got our heads-up display showing the horizon and the compass. And the top level there you can see changing between level and acro is our flight mode. In here we've actually got full control of the flight controller settings. So we've got rates, max angles, curves, PIDs and RPM, which can really help get this to fly like your quad in real life and make it an even more valuable flight simulator. So as you can see, it's a fairly big map here. It is fenced off with an actual fence. You can, however, actually fly outside this zone to a certain point until you get this warning sign. If you don't turn back when you get the warning sign, it will just respawn you basically. There's a few nice options they've added. Most flight sims seem to be, if you touch anything instantly you're destroyed, whereas we know in real life you can have close calls and you can continue to still fly. To try and bridge the gap, what they've done is they've added a little damage simulator. Now you saw as I brushed that tree, on the bottom right of the screen down there, 4 props appeared. When you actually damage a prop, that will appear, and the more red the prop appears, the more damaged it is. So I'm going to try and damage it to the point where I don't necessarily crash, but there we go, you can see the front 2 there got damaged. Let's try a different map. This is the woodlands, and I'll show you around this one a bit more as well. So this one's got a really nice varied set of levels and obstacles to avoid. You'll also notice here a really nice feature that I really like, which is that the video signal actually gets interference. Now a lot of people might think this is a stupid feature to have in a simulator where it shouldn't be an issue, but I think that as a learning system it's really good to have that in there, because you don't get used to the perfect video that you won't have when you're flying out in the field, and it allows you to learn what to do when you do lose that perfect video feed. You may have also noticed there when I started this level that it said that I needed to arm the quadcopter, so when you start a new level you have to take the throttle right down to 0 before it will allow you to take off. This is actually quite a big map. You can see again it's fenced off with an actual fence to give you an idea of where the main limit is. You can exceed this, but you need to get back fairly quickly. And then here is the car park, currently the most challenging of the 3 levels. This is a map that I have managed to get round 0 times. What you're seeing here is my most successful flight in the car park map. It's incredibly difficult to take corners in this without either flying into the ceiling, floor, or a wall. On the whole, I really like this simulator. It's got some fantastic features and is going to be a great learning experience, especially once it's complete. In addition to just flying with my transmitter, I've also managed to get it set up using my Android phone and a headset, so I can actually play true FPV with this. It requires an app which I'll put a link for in the description, but I'm going to do a full tutorial on how to get this set up and working. It doesn't play back in as good a quality as you would if you were playing from a screen, and as you can see here I have to reduce the aspect ratio as well, but this simulates quite accurately what it's like when you're flying with fat sharks, for example. LiftOff is by far the best FPV flight sim I've come across so far, and being in alpha mode, it's a great opportunity to help take part in shaping what this is going to become.